Hey guys, I'm Joey, the Whiskey Noob. Today we're going to be taking a look at Old Forester 1920 Prohibition Style Bourbon. I've been seeing a lot of other channels really enjoying this, so this piqued my interest. So when I found it at Costco for around 56 bucks, I had to get it. But before we get into this bottle, please be sure to subscribe so then that way you can keep up to date on all my reviews that I release every Saturday. Like how I reviewed the original Old Forester and also the rare Old Forester Birthday Bourbon. I'll link those up here and also down below. Also, for your convenience, if you're here just for the nosing or tasting, I will have the timestamps below in the description for a more self-guided tour of this bottle. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into some of the history. About 100 years ago, the Prohibition stopped a lot of distilleries from making whiskey, except for just 6 companies. Old Forester, part of Brown-Forman, was lucky enough to still operate. Back then, you had to own a medicinal whiskey license to continue making whiskey. The whiskey that was being made needed to be at 100 proof and also bottled in bond. This meant the whiskey had to be made in a rack house approved by the government, made in one distillation season by one distillery, and also that 100 proof. A lot of shady stuff was going on that led to the Bottle and Bond Act. People were getting scammed, sick, and even dying from the stuff that was being sold by people. But this bottle here was bottled at 115 proof. Why? Well, according to the Old Forester website, it seems like this is due to the angel share. So this is to compensate for the aging that would have affected the proof. Now, back in the Prohibition times, in order to get alcohol as a consumer, you would have to get it from bootleggers, a speakeasy, or one of the biggest surprises to me were doctors. Doctors would prescribe alcohol for various reasons. Basically, if you had a toothache, medicinal whiskey. If you had a headache, medicinal whiskey. If you had a wad of cash burning a hole in your pocket, medicinal whiskey. Of course, doctors were getting paid under the table for their prescriptions. It was kind of a lawless time. Granted, you were only given about 1 pint every 10 days. So if you went through it really quickly, you'd still have to break the law by going and finding it from a bootlegger or a speakeasy. Now, why did Old Forester make this expression? It's to honor the long history of the first bottled bourbon. Old Forester made the Whiskey Row series. This series is kind of like taking a time machine and tasting what their bourbon tasted like all those years ago by recreating the mash bill that was made during that time. Now, I cannot wait to get into this, so let's go ahead and crack it open. I'm trying something new with my channel, and I'm doing this pre-scripted, so if you guys like the pre-scripted kind of videos, please be sure to post a comment down below. So, let's go ahead and go into the nosing here. Oh, okay, so there's a bit of an alcohol burn on the nose here, but that's mainly because of the 115 proof here. It's almost kind of like at a barrel proof. But anyway, ooh, okay, so nice molasses cherry are the first things that come to mind. Surprisingly, the maple syrup flavor that I get from Old Forester isn't showing up at all here. Oh, dark chocolate, cherry. Oh, this kind of reminds me of the candy that my father would buy for us during Christmas time. And it's just small little dark chocolates that have cherry and cream filled, almost like truffles on the inside. And this is what it reminds me of. Very tasty, very sweet. I'm getting some oak in there, really spicy oak. Well, let's go ahead and try it out. Wow, that 115 proof really kicks you in the face. Wow. Ugh. That's why I'm the whiskey noob still, because I can't handle some of this stuff, but it fascinates me. This is, wow. The whole mouth kind of has this menthol feel. Not minty, but it's just kind of like a numbing feeling going throughout the whole experience here. Bit of a medium to long finish here, but we're still getting all the nose transferred over into the palate here. With really, even though cherry was the biggest scent that I got out of this, but what's really taking over is this oak spice. That is the biggest component that I'm getting out of this. There is this underlying sweetness, that chocolate factor that I was talking about. But overall though, quite spicy. That is quite nice. Actually, I had Booker's before, and that was at a higher proof than this, and that definitely was very strong. But now that I've gone into the second sip here, that big kick in the face factor is now gone. It's actually quite smooth for it being a 115 proof. Surprisingly, for it being like a mash bill from the 1920s, it is a sophisticated drink for not so sophisticated time. But boy, this is phenomenal, and honestly, this is actually not even an allocated bourbon, so you can easily find this at your local liquor store if they carry it, of course. But this isn't one that's super sought after. It's not like the birthday bourbon. You should be able to find this, but for around $50 to $60 at 115 proof, I think that's an amazing value. So going into the ranking system of my videos, we're gonna do top, middle, or bottom shelf. This guy here, I'm gonna place solidly on the middle shelf. This is one that is, yeah, it's a little bit on the higher range of prices, but what you're getting as far as this goes is going to be a good overall bourbon. With its high 115 proof, you can easily do ice. You can add water to this. It adds a lot of avenues for you to go with this bourbon. If you are a mixologist and you want to mix this with something else, the 115 proof is still going to give you that little bit of a burn, but it's not going to be so overpowering. I'm drinking this neat, so obviously that 115 proof is really going to be felt, but if you are going to have it with water or ice, you're going to be totally fine. So with that being said though, this is a fantastic value, and I hope you try it. If you have tried it, please comment down below and let me know what you thought of this. So with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this with your friends. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.